Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Lalam Thechani with today's news. Local officials and residents of Igala district say that Eritrean forces have destroyed the socio-economic sector of the district and they are still continuing atrocities in the district. According to the sources, more than 5,000 goats and sheep have been either slaughtered or taken by the forces. Abraham Gabriel has more.
Coordinator of socio-economic sector at Igala district, Awat Nugusa, says Eritrean forces have destroyed the socio-economic sector in the district. The local official says the forces have not spared anything and they have completely destroyed everything, including health institutions and schools.
There were modern health institutions in our district. Eritrean forces have completely destroyed them. They took the doors, beds and laboratory equipment and compound fences in these institutions. Eritrean forces have also looted everything in the 17 schools across Igala district.
The local official also says these forces have slaughtered and taken thousands of cattle, goats and sheep that belonged to farmers in the district.
Our people rely heavily on agriculture, both crop production and animal breeding. Eritrean forces exploited this potential to the maximum level. More than 5,000 goats and sheep were either slaughtered or taken by these forces. They have exhaustively pillaged every domestic animal, including cattle, poultry, and even eggs.
Farmers from Igala district also explained the horrendous crimes that Eritrean forces committed in the district of Igala, saying that these forces have destroyed ripened crops before they were harvested, while almost all of the residents were either killed or fled the area to escape atrocities.
Only I am left here from this surrounding. The others, be the elders, the youth, or the children, were either killed or evacuated. Eritrean forces haven't spared any grain in our neighborhood. They have taken it.
You see the farmland over there. It was covered in ripened teff, and the invading forces grazed animals that would be slaughtered on it before it was harvested. They chased after every farmer who attempted to harvest his crops. No crops have been harvested here. The future of our people is in a great threat.
The farmers said they are glad about the Pretoria Peace Accord. They demanded immediate withdrawal of Eritrean forces in order for the peace deal to be implemented fully.
The peace deal has shown a promising start, but Eritrean forces are still in our area. They should withdraw in no time.
Eritrean forces are still in Tigray, and they have continued perpetrating atrocities in Tigray. They are raping women, killing civilians, and looting properties. So the Ethiopian government needs to discharge its responsibility in speeding up the withdrawal of these forces.
In his media briefing yesterday, member of Tigray Central Command and lead negotiator on Tigray side, Getachew Reda, said both the ANDF and the Tigray officials have confirmed the presence of significant units of Eritrean forces and their continued crimes on civilian residents in areas like Europe, Igala, some parts of northwestern Tigray and western Tigray.
Truck drivers that transport basic commodities from Addis Ababa to Tigray say that the Amhara militants are looting, blocking and demanding fees to let them pass through different checkpoints along the journey to Tigray. The drivers who were blocked for 10 days in Kobo also added that there are hundreds of trucks still blocked by the vigilante group. Noam Hadgu has more.
Drivers say Amhara Fano among the allied forces that are known for committing atrocious crimes in the genocidal war on Tigray still remain an obstacle to the process of peace restoration in the country. The drivers of trucks that transport basic commodities from Addis Ababa to Tigray through the line of Kobo say that the vigilante groups of Amhara militants are still committing crimes as they are putting a ban on the trucks carrying commodities either to return back or pay huge amounts of money.
We were forced to stay in Kobo for 10 days. The suffering and knockabouts we faced are very difficult. They couldn't let us pass through Kobo. Then they permitted us to pay after we paid 60,000 Ethiopian birr. We also stayed in Mersa for 2 days and we paid another 30,000 Ethiopian birr to pass through that checkpoint. Then we reached around Tumuga, but the Fanos who were in that place returned us back. Finally, We managed to be able to come here into Tigray after paying another rounds using different techniques. There are about 200 trucks that were returned back from Waldia. I paid around 100,000 birr in this trip only.
They let us pass after we paid in Kobo. They even gave us tickets for that. We were delayed for about 10 days there. For instance, there is a person who took 50,000 birr in that place just to let us pass. We did not have any guarantee. As he first received the money, he told us that the money was to be given to senior security officials.
We came here to do our jobs as we were hoping that peace was restored. However, what we faced there was out of our expectations. We passed through many knockabouts. There are many drivers who were looted and escaped from gunshots. There are so many checkpoints everywhere. I paid more than 180,000 birr in one trip only.
The drivers also stated that the Amhara Fanos still continue committing atrocious acts targeting Tigrayans in spite of the signed peace agreement.
The peace is preached only in televisions and the media. There are no implementations of the peace deal in Amhara region. The Fanos loot you and ask you for money once they realize you are from Tigray.
The peace deal by itself is a good thing, and that's why we are trying to work accordingly. However, it's not implemented on the ground so far.
The businesses we do are advantageous for all of us, but they are not being hospitable as expected.
In a related news, residents of Kukufto in southern Tigray say that the blockade by the Fano vigilante group is complicating their living condition on a daily basis and posing them a security threat. The residents also say that they couldn't lead their lives properly and their right of movement is denied, reiterating that the blockade is putting them into pressure. For a report by Salamun Berha, Abraha presents.
Free entry of basic needs was included as part of the peace deal, hoping to alleviate the suffering of the hugely damaged people in Tigray. But residents of Kufto say the blockade by the Fano vigilante group is complicating their living condition on a daily basis and posing them a security threat.
Peace is important. It is from peace that all Ethiopians and Tigrayans can be benefited. But it is not good when the roads are blocked. Why is this happening? One road is opened, but the other is blocked. I don't know why this is happening. I can't understand this.
They say there is reconciliation and everything is fixed. But the Fanos and Amara special forces are blocking. Tigray and Adagalo, they are becoming the reason to inflation and bringing difficulties for those who want to actively engage in marketing. We have been suffering for the last 2 to 3 years, and they want to extend our suffering. They are worsening our living condition.
They are beating and looting us. Everyone around says they took 25,000, 15,000 and 10,000. We are not having freedom. They are snatching phones. They are taking everything.
The residents also said that they couldn't live their lives properly and their right to movement is denied, reiterating that the blockade is putting them into pressure.
There is a threat if we want to go marketing. We get terrified if they could meet us. We are having dark daytimes. We are suffering not to lead our lives properly. We fear we can be hijacked and separated from our families. Living has become unbearable.
It makes it difficult to get back peacefully. You are asked a huge amount of money. Another person pays 300 to 500 birr in the prisons, but when they think he or she is better off, he may be forced to pay 10,000 birr. At least you will be beaten. It is very good that peace is prevailing between Ethiopia and Tigray. The people are happy. The people need it badly. Tigray needs peace. Ethiopia too needs peace. We are all citizens, but people are suffering. This blockade is putting pressure on the people.
The residents said that they are hopeful the peace deal would lessen their suffering and call on the concerned bodies to help them end their agony by applying the terms of agreement on the ground.
People are hoping because of peace. We feel good about that. But we are lacking confidence. When there is peace, people should be able to move here and there. The concerned bodies should alleviate the suffering of the people of Tigray, for the people to move confidently and raise their children.
Peace is matchless. We could have done lots of things in the past 2 years. I was a merchant. I used it to work very well. But now, I have no income. It should be implemented now. That's what the people of Tigray need. Guns should be silenced. The government should give due attention. We want to return back to our normal life and our development works as we used to.
UN Ethiopia delegation led by its chief Catherine Susi paid a day visit to Mekelle. UN humanitarian coordinator and resident coordinator for Ethiopia, Catherine Susi, says she's coming back to Mekelle in 2 weeks of time with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. She said this while discussing with different sectors in Tigray this afternoon. Abel Zagabu reports.
UN Humanitarian Coordinator and Resident Coordinator for Ethiopia, Catherine Susi, says she is coming back to Mekelle in 2 weeks of time with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. She tells this to heads of regional bureaus in Tigray this afternoon while she sits to discuss the overall development after the signing of the peace deal.
And I'm coming here in about 2 weeks' time with the UN Secretary General himself, and you will have an opportunity to engage even further, because for me, as the United Nations, this is our role. To keep the attention on Ethiopia, to keep the attention on Tigray, to keep the attention on us getting more people in, and we've just uplifted our security level for Tigray, so more staff will be coming in to be able to work together with you in sorting out the situations for this region.
The chief also said she had discussed with UN humanitarian organizations on how to address the challenges on the ground.
We heard about the Irob area this last week, so we're being informed by the UN colleagues here in Mekelle on what advocacy we need to make in Addis, Shire, and with here in order to say, no, it doesn't matter who the people are, we need to reach them. And we need to reach them. As humanitarians, on humanitarian law, we've said we will reach them with everything they need, whether it's food, nutrition, water, safe water, education, agriculture, seeds, fertilizers. And that's what we've been trying to do. And feedback is important. So I really appreciate the feedback coming back, because one of the discussions I had with your leader is really about the IDPs. It remains a big problem. What are people going to do when they go back? If they want to go back. The humanitarian principles must still apply.
Catherine says she and other humanitarians expect authorities and armed forces in both sides to keep the promises they made to their own people.
Now, as civilians, of course, we expect the politicians and the armed forces to really do their homework and make sure that they meet the promises that they have made to the people.
Catherine Susi also met with President of Tigray, Tigray, and discussed the humanitarian situations in the region after her last visit.
The delegation of UN humanitarian organizations has visited an IDP site in Quiha, Mekelle. Delegation members said they will try to address the problems to the people in the IDP site who have suffered from shortage of food and shelter. Abel Zagabu has the report.
On Tuesday, a delegation of UN humanitarian organizations has visited an IDP camp in Quiha that shelters more than 267 households. This was formerly a site for production of furniture, which was repurposed into an IDP site after thousands of Tigrayans were forcibly evacuated from Afar in December of 2020.
And in this site, we have about 267 household heads, which amounts to about 845 individuals living in this site. And the key challenge that the IDPs currently are facing is food. Food shortage has reached a crisis stage because the IDPs has only go to 2 rounds of food distribution since their arrival in the site. That is about once food distribution in about 4 months.
But the IDPs say the difficulties they are facing are much worse. They say they don't have sanitation materials, clothes, as well as food.
ህዝብና ሞይቱ መጺእና ካሞት ካሽግር ለወጣና ሓደ ግና بالመጻና አውዚለ ልግነናሉ የግብልናይ ጢመት ዕርቃን ረሃብና ግንና እንህና.
So we can say that this site is not habitable, and our donor agency has to do more in terms of investing a lot in the IDP sites. If not, given the peace agreement that we have reached, that the 2 parties have reached now, there is a potential actually to relocate these IDPs to their original place. So donors or donor agencies have to advocate more for returning these IDPs to their original place.
Head for UNHCR's office in Ethiopia, Michel Said, also says the situation the IDPs are enduring is very difficult.
Of course, the situation remains difficult, but we are hopeful with the recent developments that more humanitarian aid would be coming, and of course, for those who would like to return to their areas of origin, that they will be able to do that in safety and security. So we are here also working with our humanitarian partners from local non-governmental organizations and international non-governmental organizations, definitely also with the United Nations agencies. And we are all putting our efforts together, our hands together to come to the assistance of these people.
Asked about the delay in provision of food assistance to the IDPs, the head replied his organization will work to address the challenges and hopes that the IDPs will receive food anytime soon.
So we talk to our partners who are more specialized in specific field, for example, the food distribution. I think there must be definitely an explanation why it's taken a bit longer than normal, and I'm confident that they will be receiving aid soon with the current progress in the situation.
Head for the Tigray Health Bureau, Dr. Emmanuel Halle, says the centerpiece of the discussion was the humanitarian challenges in Tigray. Head for the Regional Agriculture and Rural Development Bureau, Dr. Atinkud Mezgab, on his part, hopes the UN will expand its support in Tigray. Let's take a look.
Today, they were coming just a few months ago before the signing of this the agreement, and today the reason why they are here is to see the difference. So they were receiving reports, but they want to see also by their own eye. So they visited IDP sites, and they were also interested to see the ECC meeting, which is usually conducted every Friday. But today we have conducted special ECC. We had presentations from bureau heads. They presented what was achieved, what was just missed, or the gap, and what is needed. So Dr. Catherine appreciates what has achieved because of this peace agreement. She appreciates what is happening in Tigray. There are a lot of achievements, but she also stressed that even if there is this progress, the current situation is also not normal.
My expectations are, yes, the world has got quite a lot of needs. There are a lot of conflict sites in the world. So number one, the focus on Tigray must continue. And there are also lots of places in Ethiopia that might need assistance. And Tigray has had one of the worst crises. So resources should keep on coming. In fact, the resources that are coming, as you might have heard during the discussion, are not adequate. They are far from being adequate. That was the centerpiece of the discussion. So we would like partners to actually scale up their support to the people of Tigray. So these are our expectations. There are lots of details in it, but the most important thing is that they keep on focusing on Tigray and even scale up assistance and make sure that the peace that we are having is sustainable in every way.
And that's all we have for this edition, and thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.